glory to Yahweh for standing here today amongst y'all. As the elder Moray is not with us today, he's in with his mother, and we just praise Yah and that Yah be with him as well. So I just want to give glory to Yah for standing here and be able to fill in for him and deliver this word that was placed for me to give to y'all as well. So I just want to give our glory to the Most High, Yahweh, for allowing me to express what he wants to express today. Hallelujah. I want to play something right quick. It's not that long. Hold on. Yeah, I want to play y'all a little something we're going to get into today, speaking about Yahweh, as he revealed his name to us in Exodus 3:14, as being Yahweh, as being I am. So I want to get a little bit annoying or dealing with Yah, his God, his way, what he requires of us. You know, through what we think and how we act. I wrote these numbers down, hoping someone would recognize what they are. 60,000. And 10%. Anyone want to take a guess? It might be. They said we use 60,000, or we have 60,000 thoughts a day, and we use 10% of our minds. So this is the problem. In 24 hours of the day, 60,000 thoughts. And we know that a lot of these thoughts are not positive thoughts that are coming through our minds. And we understand that if they're saying we're only using 10% of our brains, then that means we're limiting ourselves somewhere, or something's getting cut short, or we're not meeting the standard in another particular area. So I wanted to play something right quick before we get into it, by an author named David Allen. And what we're going to do is get into the scriptures from a Yahweh standpoint, of what he wants us to kind of realize.
Unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. Man is one with God, the selfness of God, and thus he has the power to attach the I am to all the attributes of God: freedom, joy, health, success, abundance. Always I am connects you with divine power, because you are the I am of the I am that I am. I am is the word of power. It is the presence of God in you. It ensures that you can go direct to God, that you do not need any intermediary. All through history, back to the days of Babylon and Egypt, people have been led to believe that they needed an intermediary to approach God. And the Pharisees and the priesthood of Jesus' time tried to do the same thing. However, Moses was instructed to tell the people that God dwells among his people, that the word of is in their mouths and hearts. I am. This does not mean that someone else cannot pray for you or give you spiritual help. It means that you can and should go to God direct. Every time you say, I am, you are using the power of God to bring certain things into your life. And what you bring will depend upon how you use the I am and what you attach to it. Finally, to press home the point that he was not referring to Jesus the man, but to the cosmic Christ, he said to them, if ye believe not that I am he, ye shall die in your sins. Here we have one of those words in the Bible which are printed in italics. This occurs whenever a word was missing in the original manuscript, and the translators put it in italics to show that the word was supplied by them. However, in this case, the word he was not in the original. The translators erroneously inserted it, thinking it was necessary grammatically to complete the sentence. But Jesus is not speaking about himself. He is saying that unless a person believes in the I am, the indwelling Christ in every man, he has misunderstood his relationship to God, and he will die without knowledge of the word of power.
So, if they got a little bit of that, if y'all understood a little bit of that, what he was trying to say, let's turn to Exodus in our books. Despite the Jesus stuff and all that stuff, we know that coming out to be true. But what we're dealing with is people who understood the principles that's been laid down in this book way before man was thought of. Before Yahweh brought man into existence, he set up order. And when him setting up order, he set it up by certain laws, by certain decrees. Everything flows on its own accord. So Moses, was sent the awesome task to show us what Yahweh was trying to show us through the lives of our ancestors and the things that they dealt with, not only from a spiritual perspective, but also from a physical and mental perspective. So let's turn to Exodus. We're going to start in Exodus 3 and 13. You know, I spoke about I speak often sometimes about Yahweh being as I am, his name. And with that really includes to us, because I think a lot of people still think that Yah, or God, is an outside force, from external from who we really are. And what we're going to break down today is Yah is within us. He dwells amongst us, and he dwells with his children Israel. And as he was saying is, you don't need no middleman or no interceder or anyone or liaison to go to Yah. You have that direct special link. Exodus, pick up chapter 3, verse 13. And we're going to read 13, 14, and 15.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yah.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 13 through 15.
Yes.
Moshe then said to Yah, look, if I go to the Israelites and say to them, Yah, the mighty one of your ancestors, has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is his name? What am I to tell them? Yah said to Moshe, I am he who is. And he said, this is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. But further said to Moses, Yah further said to Moshe, you are to tell the Israelites, Yah, the mighty one of your ancestors, the mighty one of Abraham, the mighty one of Isaac, and the mighty one of Yezeqel has sent me to you. This is my name for all time, and thus I am to be invoked for all generations to come.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
That word invokes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at that right quick. I told it earlier, but I just heard it when you read it. Let's do that right quick. Invoke. Cite or appeal to someone or something as an authority for an action or in support of an argument. Invoke. So Yahweh, or Moshe, is asking Yahweh, say I go to the Israelites, and they ask me who has sent me. And Yahweh answers 3:14, as I spoke about quite back often, is the same number as pi. And you understand when you see the number pi, pi never repeats itself. This means it can't be duplicated. Mm-hmm. Yah cannot be duplicated. What you possess cannot be duplicated. This is why they tell you in Christianity everyone has to have that personal relationship with JC. Mm-hmm. Because you got to have that personal relationship. He can't work for you what he can do for somebody else, as they try to put it. So we know that Moses is asking Yah, going back into Egypt, where the Israelites had already succumbed to many other gods, no many other gods but of the sun. He's asking them, he asking Yahweh, I'm going back to these people. What am I supposed to tell them? And Yahweh says, I am who I am. This is my name to invoke for all generations to come. See, now the problem is, now we have middlemen now. Everybody's calling on something to get back to Yah. Mm-hmm. When Yah says, I am who I am, just come to me as you are. And this is what I'm going to get to. How do we come to Yah as we are so he can accept us? Isaiah 55:8.
Isaiah 55, verse 8. Mm-hmm. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, and your ways are not my ways, declares Yah. Hallelujah. Mm-hmm.
In that 7th verse, it says, let the wicked abandon their ways, and the sinful their schemes. Let them return to Yah, so that he may have mercy on them. To Yah, because he is generous, and he forgives. Or with forgiveness. He is generous with forgiveness. So how do we call upon the name of Yah? Because he says his name is Yah, or I am. I am who I am. And they sometimes, I don't know if you've ever heard the expression that we are walk and pray. Are words out of your mouth create your destiny? Our life and death is in the power of the tongue. We heard this many times, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to walk you so I won't lose you. So, when life and death is in the power of the tongue, when Moses came to Yahweh and said, what am I supposed to tell the Israelites? My name. Because Yahweh says, I'm just being who I am. Mm-hmm. And the Israelites are also the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, who did not know Yahweh as I am, but knew Yahweh as a form of how he operated and dealt from the mindset of what Yahweh wanted us to be. So when you say I am, you're putting yourself in a state of being something like Yahweh said he is. For instance, when you say I'm sick, you're putting yourself in a state of sickness. Mm-hmm. When you say I'm hungry, you're putting yourself in a state of I'm hungry. You start to feel these symptoms. You start to feel the act of being that which you already claim to be, I am.
Okay.
So when Yahweh says he's the all-powerful and the almighty, and I cannot be limited to anything, for prime example, when you say I'm a man, you act accordingly as a man. When you say you're a woman, you act accordingly as a woman. You take on that mindset, so on and so forth. If you look at the transgenders, they don't really claim either side. But when they do pick a side, they take on that mindset of whatever they're trying to take on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when they say we're walking prayer, and the words out of our mouths, and the thoughts that we think, we are constantly walking in prayer. We are constantly in the shadow and the onset of Yah's presence. What I mean is we're always invoking Yah somehow, some way. Yah is just not limited to the spiritual aspect of just being coming here on the Shabbat, keeping the feast days. Every day, you're working on Yah's behalf. And I'll show you a little bit more as we walk along here. So going back to the fourth, his name is I Am, Yahweh, the YHWH, Yah. Isaiah 55, and we're still here. But go down to the 9th verse.
Isaiah 55.
Mm-hmm.
For the heavens are as high above earth, as my ways are above your ways, my thoughts above your thoughts.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You must be responsible for each thought that comes out. Thoughts is energy, as they say. It's been measured. It's been measured in labs, people's minds that have frequencies. If you just think about everything that's out here, everything has its own spiritual resonance. Meaning, everything operates as it's supposed to operate. A lion is a lion, dog is a dog, cat, cat. Humans are the only ones who have the ability to choose. That's why he says, choose you this day who you shall serve. Either you're going to serve something lower of yourself or something higher of yourself. So when Moses is asking Yahweh to give us his name, he says at the end, this is the name that you should invoke for all generations. Psalms 92 and 5. Never put I am with something that you do not want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because over a time you will become that.
Okay.
It's kind of like faking until you make it. You tell yourself you're sick enough, and it will come into fruition. And this is why you see a lot of times Yahweh tells us not to take on the gods of other nations. This is why Yahweh tells us to drive out other nations from amongst us. Do not give over your children to other nations, because in essence he's saying that all this will take over their minds. All this, they will give themselves up. When you pray, when you worship the deity, you give yourself, your all to that deity.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh says you should give your all to him.
Hallelujah. Psalm 92, verse 5.
Praise Yah.
How great are your works, Yahweh, immensely deep your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. How immensely deep are your thoughts, he says, are Yahweh's thoughts.
Hallelujah.
The 6th verse says, ignorant people do not know, fools do not understand this. Though the wicked spring up like grass and all evildoers seem to blossom, they do so only to be destroyed forever. But Yahweh, you are exalted forever.
Hallelujah.
Those who know how to control the words they speak, the thoughts they think, will not fall into the minds of such evilness, are being easily offended when something, or they feel like life is off track. are frustrated with life. A lot of people get frustrated with life. They don't know where to turn and seek outside counsel and outside help. Amos 4:13.
Amos 4, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
For look, he it is who forges the mountains, creates the wind, who reveals his mind to humankind, changes the dawn into darkness, and strides on the heights of the world. Yahweh, Sabaoth is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So what is this applying? That the one who forms the mountains, creates the winds, makes known his thoughts to humankind, makes the morning's darkness and moves over the heights of the earth. Yahweh of heavenly forces is his name.
Hallelujah.
You can never look to someone else and say, I am. You can only say, I am for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can never live someone else's life. So when Yahweh says he formed the mountains, a lot of the stuff that a lot of the stuff that sometimes the Bible speaks about, that's why it's good to understand what a lot of this stuff means in Hebrew. The more that you find the words in Hebrew is like mountains and meaning those concrete things that we put out. As he says, he makes his thoughts known to humankind. When I told you, whatever you test the I am, it's going to come to fruition.
Hallelujah.
What do I mean by that? What was the last one we read? Amos 4:13?
Yes.
Let's go to Micah 4:12. There's a couple of things that Yahweh always asks us to do is to give us, for us to give him our minds and our hearts.
Micah 4, verse 12.
Micah 4, verse 12.
But they do not know Yahweh's thoughts. They do not understand his design. He has collected them like sheaves on the threshing floor.
Praise Yah. What does he mean they don't know about it? Yahweh mentions this quite often. We do not know his thoughts. Mm-hmm. Because as I've been saying, we don't know that we're attaching, we're bringing the things that we don't desire actually to fruition when we're saying the things that we say out of our mouths. When we speak over ourselves, we're not knowing that we are bringing Yah up as we see forth. Like Job said, Yah giveth and Yah taketh. You cannot deal with someone who is negative minded, who's always on the verge of speaking something negative out of their mouth. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm tired of that, man. I can't do that. That's not for me. Mm-hmm. So Yahweh had no one but to show up like that, because he can't see Yah in the positive force. Mm-hmm. He can't see Yah working manifestation. So when we start to see Yah manifest, when we start to see Yah show up in our lives, it gives us a little bit of hope.
Hallelujah.
It gives us a little bit of, oh, okay. there's something out here working for me. It's the word is proanoia, not paranoia, but proanoia. Proanoia is the definition is thinking that the universe is conspiring to work on your behalf. And this is the feeling that we want. We want to feel like every time we leave our house and out our doors that the universe is working on our behalf, that Yahweh is working on our behalf, that we are a representation of what Yahweh wants us to be.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to take a little journey into the New Testament for a moment and look at some principles. We're going to go to Romans chapter 11, verse 34. For a lot of our brothers and sisters are still dealing with the back of the book. And it'll be good to understand the creation of the back of the book and why they plagiarized the Old Testament. And how even they understood the principles that Yahweh was trying to apply to us as well.
Romans 11, verse 34.
Uh-huh.
Who has ever known the mind of Yah? Who has ever been his advisor?
Who has known the mind of Yah? Who has been his advisor? 35 says, or who has given him a gift and has been paid back by him? All things are from him and through him and for him. May the glory be with him forever. So what is this actually saying? It says, who knows the mind of Yah? Who has the mind of Yah? Who has been his mentor? Who has attended to who has put those negative thoughts to the side? Who has overcome dire situations? I could tell you somebody who I'm really not a fan of, but I do respect the story, Tyler Perry. Mm-hmm. It says, who has known the mind of Yah? He was at poverty. He was on the verge of giving up, if you read the story. But not giving up, understanding that he had to rely on the faith that he had, understanding where he was at that time, being Christianity. But he had to go within. He had to make a decision that he's not going to live like this anymore. Yah's not going to give you that decision. We have to make a decision for you. So who knows the mind of Yah? The gift is the gift that you give to Yah is cleaning out those negative thoughts. You doing the work on yourself. You standing in the mirror and says, you know what, I'm better than I was yesterday. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of myself. I'm happy. I'm thankful. That's invoking Yah on the positive side. It says I'm tired. I can't get ahead. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to be good. We've been told this by many people. We even tell ourselves this. So it says, who has given the gift and who has been paid back by it? When you start getting on the positive note, when you start changing, when you start working out in the gym, your body repays, you start seeing muscles. Mm-hmm. The same thing with reading scriptures. When you start diving into the scriptures, you start things, your shoulders get light. Your life gets light. You see Yah start working. So he said, who has been paid back by it? We have been paid back by it.
Hallelujah.
And it says, all things come from Yah. Mm-hmm. He gives us that mindset. 1 Corinthians 2:16. We're just dealing with a little bit of principles here.
First Corinthians 2, verse 16.
Yes.
For who has ever known the mind of Yah? Who has ever been his advisor? Mm-hmm. But we are those who have the mind.
Yeah, you can stop right there. It's going to sound related to speaking about who has the mind of Christ, who has the mind of JC. That was just another way of them writing that in there for us to get attached to a deity, to a middleman. But we come to understand that Yah said there's none like him. There's none other but Yah. When we're dealing with the New Testament, this is what the scholars understood. So when you read scriptures like this, 1 Corinthians, and they tell you that you must be Christ's mind and things like that, they're really trying to put you onto a deity and try to get you to use JC to give over your blessings. When Yah says you can bring them straight to him. Psalms 40 and 5 will show you.
Psalm 40, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
How much you have done, Yahweh, my creator. Your wonders, your plans for us, you have no equal. I will proclaim and speak of them. They are beyond number.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
That continue on in that 6th verse, it says, you don't relish sacrifices or offerings. You don't require entirely burnt offerings or compensation offerings, but you have given me ears. So I said, here I come. I am inscribed in the written scroll, and I want to do your will, Yahweh. Your instruction is deep within me. Verse 10 in that same chapter, if we look at that, it says, I didn't keep your righteousness only to myself. I declared your faithfulness and your salvation. I didn't hide your loyal love and trustworthiness from the great assembly. The will of Yah. The will of Yah is what we're trying to do. The will of Yah is getting order. I know a lot of, I know Nick C was talking about the food earlier. And, with so much stuff going on out here, especially with the food and the propaganda, the TV, anything that breaks us or separates us from this world is a plus for us. This is the true sacrifice. While we're here in captivity, what can we give up to get closer to Yah? I know everyone is not going to like or approach things how I approach or how you approach. But I say the end goal should always be trying to get closer to Yah. Whether it be through a change of mindset, a change of environment, a change of eating habits, whatever the case may be, wherever it is to get closer to Yah to be used for Him, we should try to obtain. And everybody will get there in their own steps and own time, but that should be our highest thought. How can I get closer to Yah? Psalms 139 and 17. We're just dealing with thoughts right now. And how imperative it is to, as Yahweh says, meditate on his laws day and night.
Psalm 139, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
How hard for me to grasp your thoughts. How many, Yah, there are.
Praise God.
Yeah.
It says, how many are they? How many are they? Countless. Yahweh's wisdom is infinite. You can never. Yesterday I went down to the farmer's market and I got me some honey out of Kentucky, and they got a bee exposition right there where you can see, right display around the honey. They got the thing for the bees and then it's working. And you get caught up in it real quick to see these bees up in here just moving around and trying to find a clean bee. Because that's what you're trying to find is the clean bee. But you see all these workers around this one bee. You see them in this movement, all on one accord. Then I'm sitting here holding this jar of honey, looking at these bees work, and seeing the produce of what they've done from the work that they've put in. Honey, that's sweet to the taste. That we use, put in our coffees and stuff like that. So Yahweh says, his thoughts are incomprehensible. Only to the tune because we don't take the time to try to understand. We will never completely understand his thoughts. But when you think about it often enough, as I said, it's going to put you in the mindset, it's going to put you in the state of being nothing but righteous. If you think of nothing but how Yahweh was trying to think all the time, then that's what's going to come from your pore. That's how you're going to be. That's how people's going to see. You know, people deal with you. People who show up in your life, positive and negative, are in actuality a reflection of you somehow, some way. They're coming to your life to show you this is an aspect of you that you need to change, positive or negative. Or what I mean is, if it's positive, you want to keep more people like that. You want to attract more people like that. You want to birds of a feather flock together. And vice versa for negative people to show us, just like pain shows us, it lets us know that something's off track. So how do we know when our thoughts are off track? We can just tell by the things that's going on in our life. Stuff gets out of order.
Hallelujah.
Psalms 144 and 3.
Psalm 144, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh, what is a human being for you to notice? A child of Adam for you to think about?
Hallelujah. It was asking, or David was asking, who are humans for Yahweh to even notice? Why does he even take us into consideration? If you look around with all the splendors that he's done out here, I mean, the ocean doesn't even come up on the beach line that much without it receding back to where it needs to go. You know, birds fly south every winter since thousands of years without someone telling them to go. So David's asking, why do you even consider humans? Why do you even consider them when you can make everything else just do what it needs to do? Because Yahweh wants to see, what are we going to do? How are we going to act? How are we going to think? How are we going to be a representative for the next person? That he's not going to interfere with. That we are accountable for. That's why we say the word is I'm responsible. I am responsible. Exodus 20:7. I really like this right here. This is a commandment.
Exodus 20, verse 7. You shall not misuse the name of Yah, for Yah will not leave unpunished anyone who misuses his name.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
So what does that mean? Because we hear him misuse JC name all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We hear him even use the word God misuse all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yah's not talking about misusing his name like that. When we misuse the name of Yah, it's what I was telling you earlier. When we say stuff out of our mouth like I'm sick, I'm tired, talking like, or that person's never going to be something, or that, this, and the other, this is misusing Yah's name. Yah can only show up as we see him fit. Because Moses went to Moshe and asked him, who are you? Who am I to the Israelites? He says, I am who I am. That means the state of being. You can't be of a positive mindset if you're saying I'm sick all the time. And no one can get hope from you if they're always seeing that you down on yourself when you're sick. And same way with gossip. When you gossip to other people, the other person can no longer see the Yah in that person, because you have now distorted that image of what this person is.
Right. Hallelujah.
So now you're starting to take our mission, Shabbat Shalom, brother. You're now starting to misuse the name of Yah in vain. When I was studying with Shawan's cousin a long time ago, back in 2004, 7, something like that. No, 2007. 2004. One thing I never forget that the elder, another guy, he was 80 years old, Mr. Tyler, he dropped a lot of wisdom. And the one thing I wanted to share this right now for parents is because thoughts are so powerful. Parents, especially mothers, have the ability to protect their children without even whoopers are half, these are the problems. Mothers carry children for 9 months. They have a special bond, a special connection with their children that nobody else will ever have. This is why it's one of the commandments. And there's nothing like a mother's love. So if we ever see our children are out of line, or we don't see our children the way we want to see it, all you have to do is go within and see your child the way you want to see it. Speak over their life for them. This you'll be using Yah's name in a good way. Because life and death is in the power of the tongue. And we never lose that connection with our parents, especially mothers. So do not misuse Yah's name. Because whatever you put out always comes back. It's like a boomerang. It might not come back right away, but it will come back. We are responsible. So with 60,000 thoughts that we have a day, it's going to be harder to hear Yah if you don't even know what he's about. Psalms 46:10. So we must break away from this world, which Yah gave us a remedy to do that. He gave us an antidote, so to say, when this world gets too much. Hallelujah.
Psalm 46, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Be still and acknowledge that I am Yah, supreme over nations, supreme over the world. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I always ask, when I speak to a lot of Messianic brothers who's in the teaching, and they always want to push that, there's a middleman, Yeshua, Yahweh, whatever you can call him. And I always ask, what was Yah's original design in the beginning? What was Yah's original plan?
His promise to the 12 tribes, title deed to the world, and everlasting life.
Mm-hmm. That was his original plan. That will be a light for the rest of the world.
Right.
That the world will look upon the children of Israel and see how to act accordingly, live accordingly, and be a righteous nation. So with these 60,000 thoughts that we have today, we have to be still, as it says. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." Shabbat shalom, brother. So we're trying to get back to, Yah says, which we didn't read today, the Shema prayer starts off with what? Our Yah is one. Everything is connected. Everything is one. Everything begins with Yah, and everything goes in with Yah. Let's go to Joel 2 and 27.
Joel?
Yeah, Joel. Joel.
Joel 2 and 27.
Mm-hmm.
And you will know that I am among you in Israel. I, Yahweh, your mighty one, and no one else. My people will never be humiliated again. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. What does it mean when it says that they would know that He is amongst us? What does it mean by that Yahweh will be amongst Israel?
That means that Yah will be among his firstborn, because he was talking to us and us alone.
Mm-hmm. But more so, how will the other nations understand that Yahweh is with us?
They had to come through us to get to the kingdom.
Uh-huh. And how will they do that, though?
Once we return from our wicked ways and go back to worship Yah,
Mm-hmm.
then he will restore us. But right now we were being punished and admonished for not following him. And by doing so, has put us where we are today.
Exactly.
So in the end days, as the nation of Israel is gathered, it's not the land, it's the people, because the people are the land also. The people are the land. So wherever you may be as a Hebrew or 12 tribes, you're going to wake up and become one to basically to take your place in the world, to lead the world out of darkness and out of despair and destruction.
Praise Yah.
If they so choose to listen and humble themselves.
If they so choose.
Which they cannot.
Yeah.
Cannot. But God set it up because if Esau had taken a place of Jacob, we'd all be dead. Because his mind would not have been was not the same of the son.
There you go.
So he has a sense of humor. He switched positions so that we will, in the end, become one of a division by blood, of a division by the righteous and unrighteous. So we will all be spiritual Israelites.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I had a conversation this morning about that, about Esau. And you said it's funny that his mind, his mind was not where Yahweh seem fit.
Look at Esau today, as he is in his current position of power, he will destroy us and himself.
Mm-hmm. And this is what we're dealing with.
Right.
We're individually. Now, you kind of came in a little bit late, but what I've been talking about is dealing with thoughts. When Yahweh says, I am, that I am, and you are also too. Christianity always speaks that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And that's so true. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. The thoughts that we speak, or the thoughts that we think, flows out the mouth, or what's in the heart flows out the mouth. This is why the Egyptians kept the heart and threw away the mind, because they understood that the heart is where truly, as the Bible says, the treasures lie also. So if Yahweh has your heart, then you're going to do everything in your willpower to please Yahweh. Mm-hmm. But if Yahweh doesn't have your heart, then you might have do some stuff. You might do stuff when you feel like it. Mm-hmm. But what you're doing is you're cutting yourself short. But ultimately what you're doing is you're cutting everybody else around you short. Because we are the light for the Gentiles. Every time we're not doing our part, you're cutting someone else's short. Let me get back to scripture here.
They can't lead themselves with their own heart. Because they can't lead themselves with their own heart because that substance is in their mind more than their heart. And it boils down to what I call pragmatism. What suits me is what is.
Yes.
So by doing so, he rules out the heart.
Yeah. They don't have a heart for the Caucasians don't have a heart for Yah's laws, Yah's people, our indigenous people, period. Our land, mass, animals, or anything, water, air, anything. They're so mind people. You know what I'm saying? They dwell within the minds of their own thoughts. That's why Yahweh says our thoughts are not his thoughts, and his thoughts are not our thoughts. Because now we are given. This is why he solely told us before going to the land of Canaan to drive out those Canaanites, because their gods will become a snare to you. But the word God was put in there because that's the ultimate thing we're dealing with in this reality realm. We're dealing with spiritual in the physical world. So at the end of the day, he was saying is don't turn over ourselves to other gods. But also in another essence, he was saying do not give your mind, do not give yourself, do not give over who you are as a being to someone else's ways. Mm-hmm. As Willie Lynch taught how to break down the slave. Separate. So, with that being said, let's turn to Isaiah 45 and 5. Praise Yah. Hallelujah.
Isaiah 45 verse 5.
Yes.
I am Yahweh, and there is no other. There is no other deity except me. Though you do not know me, I have armed you.
Read that 6th verse as well.
So that it may be known from east to west that there is no one except me. I am Yahweh, and there is no other.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I am, there it is again. I am Yahweh, and there is no other. Hallelujah. What we're dealing with is Yahweh is not a physical body. Yahweh is, he is the energy that governs everything on this planet in existence. The stars, the moons. Everything has a spiritual resonance. When we're trying to get back to the top, you don't use anything. Because, as I tell you, like in your simple business practices, if you're on your own business, you might go to a middleman to get your product, but you go straight to the source. Like for instance, if you franchise from McDonald's, you're going straight to McDonald's to get that little product. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to eBay to buy McDonald's cups. So what we're talking about is going back to the pure source, because everything goes back to the pure source. Everything operates off the pure source. Yahweh is the pure source that he said is out there. His source broke off into many different sources. There's a movie out there called Guardians of the Galaxy. And there's a thing in there, it's a tree. The only thing it says the whole movie is I am Groot. I am Groot. And by the end of the movie, if you know what I am stands for, you understand why he keeps saying this the whole movie. He was telling you the whole movie that he is nothing but who he is, this tree that protects and gives life, that gives out energy, and you'll see him doing that throughout the movie. And this is what Yahweh does. He says, I am. He is the life giver. He is the force giver. He is the one who gives the reason why the lions roar, the reason why the elephants do what they do, and everything so forth. Everything operates off this energy. It praises Yah except for man. Man has to be forced by a book into getting back to Yah, which should be already a natural process. This is why he gave us the book. Because the book is, if we read it enough, our minds will actually go back to that natural process of what I'm living out here in this world is false. It's not actual reality. It's not according to Yah's will or Yah's plan. Yah's plan is for us to be a light for the Gentiles. Proverbs 8:22-30.
Proverbs 8, verse 22 through verse 30.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 8:22-30.
Yahweh created me, first fruits of his fashion, before the oldest of his works. From everlasting I was firmly set, from the beginning, before the earth came into being. The deep was not when I was born, nor were the springs with their abounding waters. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills, I came to birth. Before he made the earth, the countryside, and the first elements of the world. When he fixed the heavens firm, I was there. When he drew a circle on the surface of the deep. When he thickened the clouds above. When the sources of the deep began to swell. When he assigned the sea its boundary, and the waters will not encroach on the shore. When he traced the foundations of the earth. I was beside the master craftsman, delighting him day after day, ever at play in his presence.
Hallelujah. This is talking about wisdom. Wisdom. That means everything was already set up how it's supposed to flow. So we must do the same thing by the principles that's already been defined. We must too come to know wisdom. Wisdom within our own lives. What I mean by that is, if you've been bumping your head for a while, then you're missing the wisdom on something. Mm-hmm. You must seek out to find that thing was hindering you in your spiritual growth. Because it's already been said. It was said with us with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, David, many Israelite kings on a positive and negative. It's been shown to us what to do and not to do. This is why you can find anything that you're going through in your life almost in this book. It's already been said. But we have to get in our own minds that we're not going to live just average anymore. And that's what it's about. That's why I strive to better myself. It's about not being average. You know, I used to go to concerts when I was a kid, and I used to see Jay and Z and all them on stage. And I used to be in the crowd. I look at them and I'm like, man, what's separates them from us? What makes a billionaire from someone who's barely making any money? When they believe the same way as you do, they die the same way as you do. You know, many stories of people right there that came from poverty up to the top. So why do people still continue to struggle when you see it's out there that people can do it? It's because our thoughts are not his thoughts. Our ways are not his ways. The ways of doing things that other people won't do. How do you want to be blessed upon, beyond reason if you're not going to do what others won't do? This is how you get the real blessings, the true blessings, above all blessings. Let's turn to Job 1 and 21. The title of this class is, What Are You Thinking? What are you thinking? Whatever we attach I am to, we're going to be that state of being. So never speak ill over your life or anyone else's life. Never again say, I'm tired, I'm not going to know what I'm going to do. Never speak ill over your life. Affirmations is what we're pushing for. What I said, Job 121.
And said, naked I came from my mother's womb, naked I shall return again. Yahweh gave, Yahweh has taken back. Blessed be the name of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So when y'all give something, only he can take it back.
But the world can give you things also, and you still lose it in the end. All gifts do not come from God. Although how temperate they may be, they are derived from the blood of the righteous. Because everything is a sum zero. In other words, if someone gains, someone loses.
Absolutely.
That's called profit. And profit is a mission of the current system, which is to transfer title deed from one to the other and use that to enslave them and to enrich themselves. And that's what's happened today. That's why we have not, although we're still blessed, they have, but they're not blessed. So right now there's been a shift that's taking place this very moment, whereby it's being changed as we come back together as one tribe to reclaim those that are lost.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's the reason why they don't want to let go of what they have already, being Caucasians and stuff like that. And these world powers who already got their hand in the pot of taking what's rightfully ours.
And they have a very keen sense of detecting fear because they have a very delicate system and a very delicate position that they know they can be lost just like that.
Oh yeah.
They're very edgy, so they, even in the daily routine of people, they see you, they act towards you in a way that they are really afraid of your potential, even though currently we're not a threat, but they fear Yah and the prophecy that has to come true.
This is why they're trying to. This is why you're slowly starting to see a little bit of them trying to. I don't want to use the word compromise. What's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to soothe us over.
Well, may I just make an observation? Well, what I find among them, because I talk to them basically every night, and their drunkenness is aphrodisiac to escape an unknown reality because they feel they're having it too good and this all can't be true. Like,
Mhm.
they say how blessed we are, but they understand that, well, they know that it can't go on forever because they know that, but their drunkenness gives them a chance to escape a reality that they see. So they asked me, where are the people from Nashville? I said, well, you've got the homeless mission across town, you've got the other mission, you've got CCA, and you've got the graveyard.
You talking about for our people, right?
Yeah, they asked me where the residents are, but from Nashville, I said they're dead and
Oh,
gone,
yeah, the residents.
or they're missions because they lost their land.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is all part of the story that how it was written out, but, you know, in all actuality, you'll see, even their devilishness, even their devilishness is Yah's hand.
Right, yes, yeah.
So with them thinking that they're doing things on their own accord, it's really still just being overseen by Yah. Pushing them into the corner of us, waking us up, because that's what was actually happening. But I was saying, your observation is correct. There's saying this right now. That's why you're saying, Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. This is why you're seeing more videos about from Beyonce on Black Power and stuff like this. This is why you're seeing the movie Black Panther about to come out here in a couple of years, in about another year or so, because they know that we're frustrated or angry. So now they're trying to bring it back down a little bit, you know. But like I said, y'all give it and y'all take it, and their time is up they're about to take. But when God takes us away from them, we have to be in line to receive
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm pushing now to understand what's the thinking that we must have. That stinking thinking that we've been having before here, we have to get rid of that. Because we can't take that to a new Jerusalem or to a new Israel or into what this new plan that Yah has for us. We can't take this old world system or this Western mind thinking. So that's why he tells us to meditate and be still and think upon it, to meditate on His Word and read His Word every day, because it's going to start shaping our minds. And what I was saying about earlier with affirmations and meditation is going to break down 60,000 thoughts. You can find many affirmations through this Bible. And it's, affirmations are just things that you repeat over and over again, as we do negative all the time with certain things. We speak negative over our lives. So we must start to go in here and change our thought pattern. Try to get to know the thoughts of Yah. And we know it already to a certain degree. Let's go to back to the New Testament. We're going to use a principle out of here. 2 Timothy. Because those who don't know about the Old Testament, especially Israel, you have to show them where they at. You have to talk to them where they at. And some of these principles that's in the Old Testament, the New Testament, for the principle aspect, can do you good if you understand what it's talking about. That's 2 Timothy 2, verse 19 through 21.
Second Timothy 2:19 through 21.
Mm-hmm.
However, God's solid foundation, stone stands firm, and this is the seal on it. Yah knows those who are His own, and all who call on the name of Yah must avoid evil. Not all the dishes in a large house are made of gold and silver. Some are made of wood or earthenware. The former are held in honor, the latter held cheap. Verse 21. If someone holds himself aloof from these faults I speak of, he will be a vessel held in honor, dedicated and fit for the master, ready for any good work. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. It says, Yah's solid foundation is still standing with the sign. Yahweh knows the people who belong to him. Yah knows when you're working on his behalf. He says, confess and avoid those wickedness. Then you can be used as a special bowl or a special vessel. You know, and this is why a change of thoughts or anything I was saying that keeps you tied to the West, that you want to try to destroy for yourself. Put away that foolishness of what America calls good, which is actually evil. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 2 through 7. Remember, we're talking about the thoughts that we attain. I would advise y'all to look into affirmations, look into thoughts. Matter of fact, the two most powerful words in the English language is I am. And it's no coincidence that's the name of Yah. It's no coincidence that, as I was saying, that verse is found in Exodus 3 and 14, representing the same number as power that cannot be duplicated. 613 laws, add up to 10. I mean, there's too many coincidences to let us know that Yah wants us to get back to who we were.
Hallelujah. Genesis 3, verse 2 through 7.
Uh-huh.
The woman answered the snake, We may eat the fruit of the trees in the garden, but of the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden, Yah said, You must not eat it, nor touch it, under pain of death. Then the snake said to the woman, No, you will not die. Yah knows, in fact, that the day you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing good from evil. Verse 6. The woman saw that the tree was good to eat and pleasing to the eye, and that it was enticing for the wisdom that it could give. So she took some of its fruit and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it. Verse 7. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized that they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together to make themselves loin clothes. Loincloths.
Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah.
How many familiar with this story of Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
Now, if we understand what took place right here, if you're familiar with the story, before she bit that apple, you see how splendidly they were living. Not the apple, fruit. And after they ate the fruit, it said their eyes were open. They seen that they were naked. Before they ate that fruit, they had knowledge of everything. They weren't limited in their scope to human thoughts. It went to they partook of the fruit that they actually fell and lost all knowledge and got banished from the garden. Now they begin to think humanly. Walk outside your door naked and see if you ain't crazy, or someone might start covering up or something like that. They would have all righteous thoughts before the fruit. This would cause man to err. This would cause man to fall. Adam and Eve representing mankind who partook of the apple, or man partake sometimes of their own thoughts. They get caught in their own thoughts. When you partake of that, you bite of that fruit, and now you're subjugated to those thoughts. You put yourself in situations just by the way that you think of some certain things. Have you ever thought of something or a situation before you even got to it, and once you got to it, it was nothing like you thought it was gonna be?
Yeah.
Because we can be our own worst enemy sometimes. So with Adam and Eve biting this apple, they're now where we're at right now. We're on the outside looking in, trying to figure out how do we get back in. So Yahweh was telling us when we invoke His name through meditation, through prayer, through fasting, being still, all this is taking place within. You know, when you pray, you go into that dark space, you close your eyes, and then you're in darkness. Have you ever wondered how you can sit there and not say one word, but have a full conversation and hear yourself in your own mind?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? You ain't got to say one word right now, but you can talk to yourself and actually hear yourself. It's that self-chatter that we tell ourselves is what starts shaping reality. This is the same thing that Yah did. He shaped his reality by going to that dark place, then speaking without creating. He thought it first, spoke it second. Exodus 19:9. And this is why I'm an advocate for meditation and affirmations, because they can't really shape their lives and change or break negative habits.
Exodus 19, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh then said to Moshe, look, I shall come to you in a dense cloud, so that the people will hear when I speak to you, and believe you ever after. Moshe then told Yahweh what the people had said.
Where did you stop at?
Verse 9. 19, verse
9. Let's see. I was looking for where it says, it might be, when Yahweh said He came to us and spoke to us out of the midst of the cloud, and we saw no form, no shape. All we heard was words. The same thing with I'm saying, when we talk to ourselves in our mind, we don't hear or see nobody else. But yet we can talk ourselves into something, or we can talk ourselves out of something.
Hallelujah, that's true.
Let's go to John. We're going back to the New Testament. We're going to bounce around back here for just a couple minutes, not too long. But I just want to show you some of the stuff that some of these scholars, when you're dealing with the Council of Nicaea, when you're dealing with Rome Empire, you're dealing with scholars of the times who are highly prolific in their writing skills. Just like Hollywood movies can make you think that Superman is real, and you know by God he's not real, but you watch the movie, you think he's real. It's all by deception. But everything has a source. So with them understanding what Yahweh was being the source of the Old Testament, and people who are writers of the time, you're going to get to see some of the stuff we're about to go into, how they search the scriptures and attach it to a deity. What did I say, John 10, 1 through 2? Chapter 10, yeah, 1 through 2.
John 10, verse 1 and 2. In all truth I tell you, anyone who does not enter the sheep fold through the gate, but climbs in some other way, is a thief and a bandit. He who enters through the gate is the shepherd of the flock.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to read the rest of that out. Verse 3 says, the guard at the gate opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. Whenever he has gathered all of his sheep, he goes before them, and they follow him, because they know his voice. They won't follow a stranger, but will run away because they don't know the stranger's voice. In the latter part, going on to say, JC, we ain't talking about that. We're just talking about what it said prior to that. What does it mean when it says here in the first verse, I assure you that whoever doesn't enter into the sheep pen through the gate, but climbs over the wall, is a thief and an outlaw. This is an analogy going on that's being spoken.
Well, coming in undercover is not through the one way. You're coming in unannounced or undetected. So you're a thief or you're.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what he's applying, but what he's applying is actually to what we're thinking. When we, for instance, in the music entertainment world, they like to use a phrase, do what thou will. Alex Crowley. You can look him up. Very interesting man. But Alex Crowley said, do what thou will. This is something that the music industry in Hollywood upholds very, very much. And when you know about Alex Crowley, you know that he was a man of trying to get to certain heights, spiritually. But he would use alternative means to get there. Rituals and things like this. To get results.
Yeah, that's what I say when I say pragmatism.
Mm-hmm.
You create a God self.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing so, you authorize yourself because you are who you say you are yourself. But to you, there's no other. So you become God. So what man did, because he paid by the creator, he had to create his own God.
Mm-hmm.
Which he created himself. They said when they did the Constitution, said we the people. They made themselves God among other people because they didn't include anyone else but themselves, which was the oligarchy of England and the United States. So they were the gods.
Exactly.
It should have been Yah, and not we the people.
Exactly. So what you're saying, man, when he says tonight, enter the gate, we must not think highly of ourselves, or we must not think ourselves to be more than we are.
Oh, so don't create your own entrance. Don't make something that's not there to gain access.
To gain access, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Don't go in through the window if you have a chance to go through the door.
And justify it.
And justify it. Well, I came through the window because the window was open, but so was the door. Why did you take the door? It's because you had alternative motives to come through the window. Mm-hmm. There was a reason for you came through the window and not the door, because you didn't want to be seen. You would be up under the cloak of whatever it may be. This is why the sun was worshipped so much in the past, because under the veil of darkness, so much devilishment could be done. Animals would attack at darkness. Other cities would attack at dark. They'll come up under the veil of darkness. And also here in this verse, it says the sheep. The guard at the gate opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. We can count. You hear sheep sometimes also in Scripture a lot, and you can also see sheep refers to thoughts. no one's going to listen to you, or no one's going to listen to you but you. When it says, like here, like, when you're going within this dark place and you tell yourself these affirmations and all these good things, you're gathering up these thoughts that you have put out there over a period of time, because everything's going to come back to fruition. But when you do it under the veil of how Yahweh set it up, you're now pasturing these sheep. You're now pasturing these thoughts. You're now shepherding these thoughts. You're now starting to gather them together for your benefit, for your purpose, to lead them in the direction that you would lead them in, instead of them just being, out there by themselves. You must pasture your own flock. Guard your own mind. Guard your own thoughts.
Hallelujah.
Okay, let's stay in John. And go to chapter 8, verse 23. Y'all might have read this plenty of times, but I'm trying to shed a little bit more light on it for you.
John 8, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
JC went on. You are from below, I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world.
Mm-hmm. So the 24th verse says, this is why I told you that you would die in your sins if you don't believe that I am. You will die in your sins. Now this is a rare verse right here, because this is one of the verses that they put into the New Testament where they actually put under the device that JC was not talking about himself. But if you don't read enough, you will not understand that he's not talking about himself. He said to them, verse 23, you are from below, I'm from above. You are from this world, I'm not from this world. Have you ever heard of the placebo effect? Placebo pills?
Mm-hmm.
They tell you that this is going to cure it, and you take it, and you come back, run to the doctor and say, yeah, they work. And they tell you, well, they were just sugar pills. Because in the 23rd verse it says, before you ran to the doctor and he gave you the placebo pills, you are from below. You are of lower nature thoughts. You was like, oh man, I got the disease. I can't cure this. I need to go get help. Woo. So you run to the doctor. The doctor sees that you're in distress. He says, oh man, it's just a mental thing. Then you give him these pills and tell him that these pills will work. And lo and behold, you take the pills and they do work. So what does that tell you?
You have faith in the pill.
You have faith in the pill, but also it was all in the mind.
Right.
So he says, you are from below, I'm from above. The above is putting your mind on higher thoughts, putting yourself on what Yahweh wants us to do, those higher things, that higher calling that he gave us. The 24th verse goes on to say, this is why I told you that you would die in your sins. Well, we don't know the principle or the wisdom of something, as we read in Proverbs 8, 22 through 30. When you make a certain dish at home, you make it the first time, you might read those ingredients. By the third or fourth time, you're not reading the ingredients no more. You already know what makes this sauce work. You already know the ingredients to make this sauce good. So therefore, you're not going to be held reliable for bad tasting food. Let me say it again. You're not going to be held reliable for bad tasting food because you already know how to fix it right. You know how to prepare it right. Mm-hmm. You know everything exactly goes within it. You know what it takes to make this dish taste good to other people. So therefore, we're going to be subjugated to negative reviews about it. So when he says you'll die in those sins, what you don't know, they say ignorance is bliss, but that's not the case. They're now trying to get people to preventative health care so they won't get too much or everything won't preventative hair care, so things just won't pop up on you at the last minute, far as you just being diagnosed with a certain element that you could have taken care of years ago.
Mhm.
John 15 and 16. I'm just showing you stuff that you probably read countless of times before coming to the true knowledge of what Yahweh was, and how they go into the New Testament. So if you ever speak to folks in the New Testament, and you come across some of the stuff, you know exactly what it's talking about.
John 15, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
You did not choose me. No, I chose you, and I commissioned you to go out and to bear fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you anything you ask him in my name.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And the 17th verse says, I give you these commandments so that you can love each other. So when you ask in the Father's name, besides prayer, whenever you call on I am, you're also asking as well to bring it to fruition. So go out there and produce nothing but fruitful thoughts. Go out there and be a light for others, as it says. All right. Matthew 7, chapter 7, 7 through 12. We're just using a little bit of principles out here.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 7 through verse 12. Ask, and it will be given to you. Search, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. Everyone who asks receives. Everyone who searches finds. Everyone who knocks will have the door open. Is there anyone among you who would hand his son a stone when he asks for bread? Verse 10. Or would hand him a snake when he asks for a fish? If you, then evil as you are, know how to give your children what is good, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? Verse 12. So always treat others as you would like them to treat you. That is the law and the prophets.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Ask, knock, and you shall find. That's going back to what I was saying earlier. It says, who among you will give your children a stone? When I was saying that parents, you can speak nothing but positivity to your children's life. That's why he's asking, who will give their kids a stone? Because a lot of people, especially out in the black community, we're quick to say, man, them kids bad. Them kids are worse than kids. Them kids ain't gonna do nothing. They just like their daddy. So he's asking, who will set this roadblock up? Because you tell it to somebody else, they're thinking the same thing about that child. Sometimes you hear people say, oh, he ain't bad. He's a good kid. Somebody might retort. But 9 times out of 10, especially mothers, are so quick to say, oh, them children bad. Then they wonder why the kids are bad. Because you just spoke this into their life. This is how you seeing them fit. So he says, why would you give your children a stone or a snake for a fish? Meaning you could feed them good things. Then feed them good things. So through meditation, through being still and understanding what Yah wants for us, then we can start to take control of our minds, killing some of these thoughts that we have a day. I said 60,000 thoughts, using more than 10% of our brain. Because this was meditation is going to open, it's going to unlock more than that 10% that they say we only use. And the more that you can unlock, the more that you can give yourself over to Yah, the more amazing things is going to show up for you. Not only you, but you're going to be able to create happiness and goodness in other people's lives. That's what you want to be. You want to be a conductor for Yah. Praise Yah. So I want to end by reading something here from a book. Until I bring it back. It's called Feeling is the Secret. Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. And I want to read something. It says, the subconscious accepts as true that which you feel as true. And because creation is the result of subconscious expressions, you by your feeding, let me read it again. The subconscious accepts as true that which you feel as true. And because creation is the result of subconscious impressions, you by your feeling determine creation. You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. To seek on the outside for that which you do not feel, you are is to seek in vain. Meaning, if you don't see it here first, or feel it here first, whatever action you're going to take, it's not going to add up. It's going to be in vain. This is going back to what we were reading. Those who climb over the fence have robbed themselves. To seek on the outside for that which you do not feel, you are is to seek in vain. For we never find that which we want. We find only that which we are. Remember that. Exodus 3:14, Yahweh says, I am that I am. In short, you express and have only that which you are conscious of being or possessing. Yahweh is self-existent. Nothing sustains him. Nothing sustains you but the energy that Yah gives us. So it says, you express and have only that which you are conscious of being or possessing. To him that hath it is given. Denying the evidence of the senses and appropriating the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the way to the realization of your desire. Mastery of self-control or thoughts, of your thoughts and feelings, is your highest achievement. However, until perfect self-control is attained, so that in spite of appearances, you feel all the way that you want to feel. Meaning, you have to see yourself with it first. Most times people get vehicles, they see that vehicle, they see themselves driving that vehicle or feel that vehicle before they actually get it. Or some people see themselves going on vacation or feel themselves partaking in the vacation before they actually even take the vacation. And all this starts to come to fruition. So master our thoughts. Master who Yahweh wants to be. By meditating on his laws and his statutes and his judgments. Hallelujah. So that's all I have for today as far as scriptures, but I do want to share something for you right quick. The word Mary also breaks the word Marie. It means see. S-E-A, not S-E-E, see. Virgin means pure mind. So what they did with the New Testament and creating it, the birth of the virgin birth, is the mental aspect of that. It's talking about we give birth to ideas. We give birth to concepts of what we think of ourselves and other people. We give birth to, or we bring from absolute darkness or from emptiness of our minds into fruition. This is how everything in here has started. It started with an idea, and now it is.
Hallelujah.
So you're now conceiving. Now you're giving birth to an idea. You're conceiving a thought that was never a thought, that just came out of thin air. Like with the iPhone and the books and all this stuff. These created in thin air. Someone thought like, oh, this would make a good product. And they set out to do it. And now it's fruition. So we see these words like virgin and Mary and pure mind. The seed, Mary meaning the seed, it means it's vast. There's no limit to what you can actually think. There's no limit to what you could be. So start thinking good thoughts. Start seeing yourself in a good light.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All right. That's all I had to share. I praise y'all for tuning in and listening today. For those who's listening via the internet and those who are here with us in Mission Cal right now, I definitely appreciate y'all opening your ears and listening. Any questions or comments, concerns, or anything?
I just think, the power of the tongue, you speak, life or death. It's very powerful, and it's going to go somewhere to against that.
Mm-hmm. You're responsible. Mm-hmm. You're very responsible. As I said, most people, they'll let stuff fly out of their mouth without even noticing that it's going to fly out. And that's why I say be careful what you attach to I am, because silently, when you say I am, you're calling on his name without you even knowing it, from a different aspect of just putting yourself in a state of being. So, the more that you keep saying, I'm tired, you're going to come to find that yourself being tired, or sick, or angry, or whatever the case may be. So he gave us loopholes like affirmations and meditations to break this pattern. Because TV is going to feed you one thing, propaganda is going to feed you one thing. Some of us are still carrying around things that we've been told since we was a child. There's people that harboring stuff right now that they've been harboring since they were a child because they told them they're going to be less than something. So we must work on ourselves from the inside out. That's what I'm trying to say to you. What this whole lesson is about is whatever's going on the outside must be changed on the inside first. It's not going to change from the outside in. It has to go in without. So that's all I have for y'all today. We're just going to prepare our minds for giving back and get ready to close out. And prepare the meal. I hope it makes sense.